Welcome into the I-80 Boys College Football Show. We got a little Notre Dame versus Texas A&M, the preview and prediction video here, Chris. I'll start us off first, okay? Look, Notre Dame's coming off the heels of a 10-3 season, right? Coach Marcus Freeman has a tough assignment, right? He draws the Aggies at home in his first game. And I think that's not an easy task, right? This is a top 25 matchup, going to be very fun to watch. He's going to look to Duke transfer Riley Leonard to lead this team. I think Leonard is not as good of a passer as Sam Hartman was, when they both got to Notre Dame, if you will, right? But I think he's much better about creating off-script plays and being able to run the football when things break down. Like, I know Leonard was hurt last year, Chris, and I know he missed time, but in 7 games, he only put up 3 passing touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Okay. So that is something you got to look out for, if you are, an Irish fan here. He did have another 4 scores on the ground throughout that period. But again, you got to look at the passing a little bit. He's going to benefit, in my opinion, from having the new offensive coordinator, Mike Denbrock, who coached Jaden Daniels over there, at LSU to his Heisman season there. So that will probably help him. Look, I think, this offense is going to look to get the ball to guys like Chris Mitchell, tight end Mitchell Evans, Jaden Thomas, and Jaden Greathouse, right? The Mitchells and the Jadens. Just make it that easy. Why don't we? And I think they're going to try to spread the ball around. They have a lot of different weapons they can try to get the ball to, and essentially, right? Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price are going to look to try to take over the running back duties from Audric Estime after he departs, right? And so I think they're going to try to run the ball a little bit, maybe get Riley Leonard a little bit comfortable in this game. The O-line, you lose Joe Alt and Blake Fisher to the NFL. But I still think they'll be good. But can they hold up, right? A&M, we know, has a great defense, and we're going to see that on Saturday, right? It'll be really interesting to see that. So, look, defensively, the Irish, they should be great. As well. I think that's what has this potential to be a very low scoring, very good kind of throwback game. It'll be must-see TV. But one thing I'll say is like last year, A&M did struggle at giving up sacks. And I would say creating as much, and they really struggled at creating a vertical passing threat, last year at times, I felt like. So, look for guys like Duke transfer RJ Oben and Jordan Botello, to create havoc for Connor Weigman in this one. Run defense-wise, Notre Dame was top 30, stopping the run. And I think they'll be able to contain A&M's 2-headed rushing attack going into this game. I really do. I would say just really on defense at all phases, they were pretty good. They didn't really give up a ton of yards, but they do lose some pieces off last year's secondary. In this one, however, I think it'll be okay. Chris, I'll throw it over to you. I want to hear a little bit about them Aggies.
Yeah, you bet, man. Big thing here is, A&M's probably the biggest wild card in college football this year, probably the hardest team to pinpoint what they're going to be, just with Mike Elko coming in, right? First-year coach he's not a first-year coach, but his first year at A&M from Duke. So, like you alluded to it, offensively, they get back Connor Weigman, who I still think has a lot to prove, personally. I do. First things first with him, though, they got to keep him upright. You said it, too. He got sacked a ton last year. That's how he got hurt. They need to keep him upright, like I said. Now, as we know, Notre Dame's got an elite defense, and I think A&M is going to have to get their playmakers out in space here. Whether it's the vertical passing game, which we haven't seen a ton from them, especially last year, but they're going to have to create some space out there and get open. One thing I've learned and watched and noticed about Notre Dame's defenses the past couple of years, you can't run just right at them. You know what I mean? They're physical. They've always got great linebackers. Got an amazing front seven across the board. So, like I said, A&M's going to have to get out in space. They got some speed out there with the running backs, but they're going to have to get out in space. Now, defensively, this is the big thing here in this game. You've alluded to it. We've alluded to it multiple times this offseason and this game in particular. Mike Elko, this is his specialty. He did a tremendous job at Duke with their defenses there. They're going to have to step up and be big in this one. If anybody knows Riley Leonard, it's Mike Elko, right? He coached him at Duke, so kind of cool narrative to this game. So my big thing here is A&M. They picked up some great pieces in the transfer portal. They got Nick Skirton from Purdue. He's going to be big in this one. He's a preseason All-American. I expect to hear his name all day on Saturday. They need to get to the quarterback, and they need to get to Leonard early and often and make him throw the football. You said it. He didn't throw a lot of touchdowns last year. So if they can get him into obvious third downs and passing situations, I think A&M is going to be all right. With that being said, here's the big part. Prediction. I think this game is going to be super low scoring, and I am going to take Notre Dame 20, Texas A&M 17. Christian, what's your thoughts?
Man, that low scoring. You really think it's going to be that low scoring?
I do.
All right. Give me Notre Dame 14, Texas A&M 17.
Damn. Man, you were scaring me there. I was hoping you'd throw out some 30s or something like that. But I'm with you here, right? I mean, both these defenses are going to be good, right? And both offenses got some big question marks as far as quarterback play goes, as far as throwing the ball. I'm with you there. Christian, I want to ask you a question. I mean, obviously you think this is going to be a close game, so do I. Do you think A&M playing at home here is going to play a big favor in this game, and you have them winning, obviously?
Yeah, absolutely. I think A&M, and for a lot of the reasons you said too, right? The reason why I'm picking A&M to win this one, I think the home field advantage is going to be really tough. I think another aspect of this, like you said, Elko has coached, Riley Leonard before, so he knows his strengths, he knows his cons, he knows what to do, he knows how to kind of bait him. Right now, you could make the same argument. Riley Leonard has gone against Elko's defense, but at the end of the day, there is a lot of question marks on both sides of the ball. Connor Weigman's been around college football for a while. When he's healthy, right, and he gets time, he can make things happen. I say both these teams are going to have good defenses, right? It's going to be a very boring game to watch if you like offense, but I think it's going to have the potential to be a really great finish. And it might just be who can kind of get into field goal position last in order to win this game. Like you said, Chris, I mean, it's just going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be a throwback. Let me throw it back to you. Let me see. Why do you think Notre Dame wins this one?
I think it just comes down to Notre Dame, to me, like I said, has more to lose. If A&M loses this game, they're not out of the hunt for an SEC title game yet, right? Notre Dame, in my opinion, I alluded to this on my betting video about this game, was Notre Dame's basically got to go 11-1 to get in. I think if they go 10-2 this year, they don't get into the playoffs. Now, Notre Dame is a top 5, top 6 team pretty much anywhere you look. They lose this game, they got to win out, man. They got Florida State on the schedule. I think they got maybe Louisville or USC or somebody else on there. But in my opinion, a 10-2 Notre Dame team doesn't get in. So they need this game. Not that A&M doesn't need this game. No, this would be huge for A&M. But I, like you, though, agree with you 100%. I think this comes down to a late field goal, either team. I really do. I'm just taking Notre Dame in this one because, honestly, I think their defense is a little more proven just because this is his first year over here at A&M. So I got a few question marks there and how that offense is going to look this season. But like you said, this is going to be a close game, a tight game. I don't expect anybody to blow anybody out in this one.